So what I'm going to be doing today is changing that tire. The tire that you see in the frame right here. This tire is the fourth one for the back. So I've now done this 3 other times. Am I professional? No. Do I know what I'm doing? Debatable. But we're gonna get this tire done. We're gonna do it here in just a second. So it's just gonna sit right there. But what I gotta do is break the bead, and the way I'm doing it is I'm using my truck because, well, why not? So I'm putting the jack underneath the frame, and I'm picking it up on this side, and I'm using the other side to break the bead because I can't swing a sledgehammer with my arm. My arm doesn't work very well. So I do a lot of the heavy lifting, so to speak, with this one, and this one just kind of hangs out. Alright. So what I gotta do, I'm gonna put it underneath the truck, and I'm gonna try to get that block to sit as close to this rim as I can. So when I drop the truck down on it carefully, it will push this tire bead down into the tire. Now on this Dodge Ram, I'm starting on this side. Breaking the bead, you can probably do it from either side. I'm just starting with this side. Then I got this block of wood. And these little pieces over here, and I just carefully kind of do that. These, if you haven't seen my other live content yet, these are called tire spoons. I use these to help pop the tire off. I'm just gonna set these right here. I don't think I need them yet. I'm gonna see if I can just stand on this and make it work. WD-40. So I'm using WD-40 because I have a lot of it. I also don't buy it in the spray cans anymore. I got these things, and you just fill it up by the gallon. It's a lot cheaper. Alright, let's see if that works. Sometimes you just have to wait a minute. That's why I was waiting. Didn't work. This one is really kind of stuck. Alright, that didn't work. Oh. It just went. So, you see, it's now off the bead. It just took it a second. So now I gotta jack it up again, flip it around to the other side, and do the same thing again. This is not the most efficient way of doing it, but it's free. I had wood and I had a jack. And I'm not trying to change, you know, a gazillion tires in a day. So now, because this is a dually rim, I gotta put this 2x4 right here like this to help support the tire, or it won't work very well. So when I put it under, I'm gonna be putting that there too. You know, this is like 99% problem solving and using your noggin. Or in this case, gravity. Oh. So you see how the tire's lifting up? I gotta put that wood in a different spot. So I got these little block of wood. I'm trying to use that to help support the rim. All right, let's give that a shot. Gravity, please work. Sir Isaac Newton, do your thing. That's a lot better. It's gonna pop this time. See? Perfect. Whew. It just took me a second. That's why I was using wood that was actually cut in 2 pieces. Just like my soul. So, as you can see, this tire is now broken on both beads. These are heavy truck tires, so it doesn't show up very well. But it's broken. Now, when taking the tire off, you gotta make sure you do it on the right side. I did not know this when I first started. But if I try to take the tire off on this side, I'll never get it off. You gotta do it from this side. It only took me like 3 hours, 4 hours to figure that out, so you know it's not a big deal. But if you're trying to take the tire off and it's just not wanting to come off, flip it over and try the other side. You know, that's, as they say, if it ain't working, try the other way, right? You know, trying to keep that as a PG-13 joke. But let's go ahead and get these off. Now I am recording this on my GoPro for YouTube, and I got perfect video setting for that. Awesome. All right, so tire spoons. Here's the fun thing to use these. Don't buy cheap ones. These are from Ken Tools. If you had a smaller tire, maybe the Harbor Freight ones would work, but I just think the 20 some odd inches is not long enough, and there's an adult joke in there. Find it yourself. But these are 37 inches, so got a couple more inches than the 20 some odd inches. And this nub is a beautiful pry tool. So when you go to insert this into the tire, you want this nub to be facing up to the sky. So you're gonna try to get this into the tire, stepping on it and kicking it. Seems to work. But you will need 2 of them. If you're only using one, it's going to be a little bit harder to use. So, yeah. 2 of these. It's a drop center. Yeah, so it's not just because of the hub brake clearance and whatnot. It's I also have a dually truck, so the wheels are set up for a dually offset. So on the fronts they dish in, as you can see here in the front, but on the back they go the opposite way, or one goes the opposite way, one goes the correct way, or I guess they're both correct ways on the back. But I'll show you guys that when I actually get to that, because I got some tires that are aired up, and we're going to be able to put this thing back on the ground for a day. So I'll jack up the front, because I got to do some stuff to the front now. Yay! Joys of owning a truck. But let's get this tire off. I don't want to do it. I got to, though. Okay. So, you don't want to use these bars too close like this. If you put them too close, they don't work very well. If you put them out like this, they're not going to work very well either. So it's like Goldilocks, right? You don't want it too hot and you don't want it too cold. You don't want to take a bite that's too small, or you're going to be fighting it a lot. If you take a bite that's too big, well, it's not going to work. So I found for this tire, which is a 17, about this distance is good for me. You know, like where my legs would be. And maybe a tad wider. I don't know, something like that. Like I said, this is the 4th tire I've ever done, so I'm still learning. Alright, I got these facing up to the sky. So set. Once you get the one in, the other one kind of goes in easier. So there's the one. There's the other. The nubs are about, you know, knee distance away. That has kind of worked for me so far. Yeah. And then you just use them together. Okay, that's too far. Okay, let's try that. There you go. So now we got the lip up. So now I'm going to turn this tire all the way around so you guys can watch me do this. Again, I am not a professional. Okay, that was not fun. Alright. Leave one bar in. I'm going to leave that one in. Now what I'm going to do is kind of put my foot on it, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm wiggling the bar out so I can put the nub on this offset. And I'm going to use that to add a little bit of leverage. To start just pumping this tire up. Like that. You see? That came off quite easily. That's like the easiest one to do, by the way. Hi, doggies! They don't make my audio any easier, but you know. Now, you get this off. You kind of want this back end to be stuck out. If it's in, you're just going to grab this rim and kind of try to pull it out towards you. So this rim is actually sitting right in this groove. I'll show you guys the groove that I'm talking about here in a little bit. But it's sitting right in what I'm going to just call the dismount groove. I forgot what they actually call it. But it's a groove that's very helpful. You just take this bar, and we're going to use this side now. It has a little nub on it. It looks so cute if you look at it closely. Stick that in, kind of push the rim in, and you just want it to peek through like that right there. And what it will do is it's going to hook onto the edge of the rim, and then you just pull up until you're something like this. Do taps like that, it's not just coming out easily. None of them did. So what I found, stepping and pulling. is the easiest way for me to do that. Some people, they just put it on there and then they go like, what? And it comes right off. Didn't work for me. So now that's off. Whew. That went a lot easier than it has before. You know, once I get done doing all these things, I'm gonna be a professional tire changer. No, not really. Alright. Alright, professional tire changer. Where the hell is the tire thingy, changing thingy, whatever. Don't do what I do and forget to put this little fricker in. Because this rim, I took all these out. These are called valve stems. Actually, really easy to put these things in. When you have the tire off, anyway. Excuse me. So, we're just gonna grab some of the magical stuff. You know, whenever you try to squeeze something that's a little bit bigger than the hole, as they say, lube goes a long way. I don't have the correct tool. So there is a tool that goes on the end of this and you use that to go boop, right up through. I don't have that. So I'm using this because this is what I have. I have to oil leak that's coming from the oil filter. What should I do? Take the oil filter off and replace it. It could just be the bad seal. Yeah, these are steel wheels. I don't care about them scratching. So now that we got this thing lubed up, we're just going to put it up through the hole. And much like a baby, one smooth pull is all it takes. Actually, I think doctors say, take a deep breath. Oh, there we go. It's a valve stem. It's not a boy and it's not a girl. It's just a valve stem. I try to say jokes to make you guys laugh and enjoy it. Alright. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Alright, I'm not gonna hold that up. Let me tilt you guys on down. Magic. Alright. So I got the new valve stem in, it's right there. It just goes right here. And you only need to pull it up through. It doesn't take a whole lot. Just use a little bit of WD-40. It's what I've been using and it works great. And nobody's been complaining about it yet. So, remember I was talking about the takeoff section or lip. This is what I was talking about right here. So when you go to pop it off, that second bead, you kind of want to make sure that the bottom of that tire is sitting right here. It makes it a lot easier. If that bottom tire is sitting on this right here and it hasn't fully de-seated yet, just make sure you try to wiggle this out so it falls right here. I had one tire where it didn't want to fall down in here. It kind of got stuck up here a little bit. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but you do kind of want to try to get it further down. Make sure it's right here when you go to take it off. Then that's the little nub I was talking about. You're going to fish it up through and it's going to grab on the edge of this rim. And then it just pries the tire right off. And that's all that takes. It actually goes pretty quick. The drop center. Okay, so someone on TikTok says this is called the drop center. I was calling it like the dismount thing or whatever. Because I am not a professional tire changer. This is only the 4th tire I've ever done. And I'm balancing these tires myself too. So I'm using tire beads. So everything I've read when you're doing tire beads, you don't want a lot of moisture. So I'm just wiping down the little bit of condensate that's in here. I have no idea how much moisture is bad or not good or whatever. So you know what, we'll just keep it really clean. So there we go. Whew. These steel rims are kind of heavy. All right. Let me get you guys brought back up so you guys can see what I'm doing. That's about right, I think. Yeah, you guys on TikTok, you good too. Now, the trick for this is kind of taking your time. Because these are not brand new tires, these are newer tires. I bought 6 tires, these 6 tires, for $250. The size is 235/80/17s, which is the stock size for my truck. These are rated for 80 PSI, so these are heavy load range. I forgot what load range, it's somewhere on here. It doesn't matter, but it's an LT tire. It's a very thick, heavy wall, which is one of those things that I do look for. But mainly, I bought these tires because the tread is basically almost new, and I didn't see any patches in them, and I only paid 250 bucks for them. So, 250 bucks for a set of 6 tires for my truck? Yeah, tire shops were quoting me like $2,000. So, I'm very happy with my $250 tires. The only thing is I gotta put them on myself. So, those tools cost me, I don't know, like 60 bucks a piece. I needed 2 of them. Could have bought a bead breaker and a bead setter and all these other things that would have made my job easier, but I'm being cheap. I don't want to change tires for a living. I'm doing this because it's cheaper than me getting them replaced, and I'm kind of broke. I'm not exactly eating hot dogs, but I don't want to be on a hot dog diet. So again, a little bit of the WD-40 goes a long way. Don't need that much. Just take my gloves, kind of wipe it around. And then the same thing on the other side. It's on my glove a little bit, so. Oh, I missed some water. Okay. Now to put this on, it's not too difficult. Actually, it kind of is. The first bead kind of sucks. Especially with this tire, the walls are really heavy, so it doesn't want to move very well. So I found you're just going to want to try to get it lined up the best you can, and then take your time. Once you get like a good set on it, it's kind of downhill from there if you don't screw it up. Alright. This tire is already doing the same thing like the third tire did. The first 2 kind of went on a little bit easier. You gotta jump up and down on this like you're a kid again. But there is a little bit of a science to it. I'm just trying to use this to help keep pressure on the bead as I set it. It keeps on wanting to pop back up. This is where a bead lock tool would be nice. So a bead lock tool, you set it down there on both sides, and it keeps it from wanting to slide back up. They weren't very expensive. But I didn't want to buy them if I didn't need to. And now I wish I did. Alright, I might have a good set on it now. I do. So, just kind of take your time, and eventually it'll kind of pop in, but you want to be careful of the valve stem. And don't eat the concrete like I almost did. All right. The bead is on. We're almost there. Whew. All right, now to do this, it's kind of similar to what we were doing before. Just lift this up a little bit, put the bar in there, set it down like that. And then just take the other one. And just start walking the tire. Again, be careful of the bead. I mean, the valve stem. And I'm right near the valve stem. I say be careful of it, and then I end up right at it. Alright, if you go too far, you start to make it hard for yourself. So get one, and get the other one in. One on each side of the last bite. One at a time. I was trying to do both again. And there you go. I put the tire on. That's the fourth one. Whew. All right. Now I gotta go Walter White mode. What do you mean to go Walter White? Well, I'm not running a criminal enterprise, that's one. Put that in. Put that in. I'm doing that just to open up the tire. These are called tire beads. I'll show you what these look like here in a second. Screw it. So, I need 128 grams of these. And I'll show you what these are here in a second. So, I'm going to go ahead and get them measured up. That's 128. Take it off, put it back on, reads 128. Perfect. So what are tire beads? I'm glad that you asked. Tire beads are these things. So, let me bring you guys down. Come on down, come on down, come on down, come on down. There you go. So these are called tire beads. And I'm gonna show you guys on TikTok first, and then you guys on YouTube. See them? So these are for balance. So these are made of glass, This is 128 grams in this cup. And yeah, these will help balance my tire, and I don't have to have a machine to do it. And there's some people, they actually prefer the tire beads more than the wheel weights, because every time you start driving, these will balance your tire again. So yeah, tire beads. So if you're doing your tire at home, and you just kind of make a space, and pour them in. Now these do seem to bounce around a lot. But there you go. Aye. All right. Time to move the tripod. Just say no to crack if you see any, please. All right. Whew. All right, so these tires haven't been on here in a while. So gonna clean off the threads a little bit here. Of any possible dirt or contamination. As you notice, I'll use WD-40 like it's in style, because I buy it by the gallon, so I don't care. I'll squirt it. That's what she said. First tire going back on, and what took way too long. Yeah, this is a 2006 Dodge Ram 3500 dually 4-door. I love this truck. Oh yeah, I forgot, this tire's heavy. So just kind of put your legs underneath it and use your legs to kind of help push it up so you're not using your back. And I don't have a strong back or arm, so it's what I gotta do. It might actually help if I go set the parking brake. And I just screwed up. I put that tire on backwards. Let me go set the parking brake. Son of a bitch. So if you have a dually truck and you gotta run it on singles because you blew the tire out, you can put the tire on like this and it will work, kind of. Don't recommend it, but you can do it. Let's put this one on the right way. There's a video on my YouTube about that. It only took me forever to do it though, but I did it. I did all the seals, the bearings, raceways, did the e-brake. I did all of that. And I'm not a mechanic. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Yeah, this is a 24 valve common rail. I've not had a tire on this thing in a while. I needed an extension. I still can't believe I changed 4 tires by hand. 4 tires ever by hand. Never done it before. Never rebuilt a rear axle before either. It was not getting cross-threaded, it was just some rust. Some of these have some rust buildup. I oiled them, but some of them do have rust buildup. So I didn't oil the threads all good enough. But that's why I took it back off to check it. All right. Done! One side. I got one more to do.